What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have 9 British things the rest of the world really needs. We're once again back with Girl Gone London, another reaction to one of her videos, which are absolutely incredible. If you'd like to check out her original video, I'll link that in the description section. Also, if you happen to enjoy this, please don't forget to smash subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to support this channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Let's dive right in.
And I just think that's easier. It's also better for the waistline and could explain some differences between America and Britain in other ways. And so the ones that I have, for instance, because you were all very fascinated by the duvet that I have, hello and welcome.
What's up?
Back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm a dual UK and American citizen, and today we're talking about 9 British things that the rest of the world really needs. But I'm going to be honest with you, they're very specific. We're not talking about electric kettles. We're not talking about roundabouts. We're talking about some weird stuff that probably no one else has thought of. So
I like weird.
Let's get going in a second. Before we get going, I do want to say, if you haven't seen my announcement yet, the For the Love YouTube channel is the name of the new channel that I have following people's unique interests and hobbies. I did announce it in another video, but in case you haven't seen that, the first episode is about model railways, and we're going to be doing lots of different topics over the course of this channel's life, learning how to forage in the wilderness, riding unicycles, racing RC cars. You guys have really put out the call for me to do a Warhammer episode, so I'm trying to arrange that and learn about it. So check out that episode in the link below. And if you have any hobbies or interests that you would love to share with me or know of people who might be interested in sharing, please do email me at the email address in my YouTube channel. Anyway, let's get started on this video. They're in no particular order of importance because they're all very important. Number 1. The brown tourist signs that point you in the direction of various activities, castles, sometimes, I don't know, like a farm you can visit. These brown signs are road signs in the UK, and I just think, how fun. You get to drive along, you're going to a destination, and you're like, oh look, Legoland is that way. We should go that way. I feel like in the US, we don't have signs like this, so obviously there are lots of activities to do, but you're not just going to randomly pass a road sign telling you this way to Legoland. You're going to have to look it up for yourself. So I feel like I've discovered, not that I spend a lot of time at Legoland because I'm not the target demographic, but just an example. I feel like I've learned about different places from simply driving along the road and seeing these brown tourist place signs. I would suggest that maybe brown is not the most appealing color, and I would, if somebody's listening who's in charge of the color, suggest that maybe we do something like brighter or like rainbow or more exciting than brown, but brown is the color they've gone with, so we'll stick with it for now. But the tourist signs to different visitor attractions or tourist attractions or castles in the UK, I think is a good idea. Okay,
I feel like that's really cool. I do feel like the US, in a sense, if you're on the interstate, you'll have the signs when you're about to exit that show you like all the things. Well, really, they just show you gas stations, hotels, motels. They show you food spots. So I guess they don't really show a lot of touristy attractions. I guess if I'm being honest, yeah, she's right. Take back what I said. Yeah, she's 100% right. That's really cool.
Up is the traffic lights that turn yellow before they turn green. So I've talked about this in my differences between UK and USA traffic light video. So if you're interested in the topic, check that out. But in America, lights only go from green to yellow to red, or amber as it's called in the UK. And then it goes directly from red to green without any other color in the middle. So you're never entirely sure what's going to happen. In the UK, the traffic light pattern is to go through the amber or yellow bit for both turning red and turning green, which is very helpful as a pedestrian because you know if the light is about to turn green for the cars. And it's also helpful as a driver just because, I don't know, you can get ready to go It's not an instant red to green. You've got a little bit of notice. Again, I said this video was quite random. The next one on my list,
I don't know about the traffic lights. I feel like traffic lights we got are pretty decent, so I don't know if I'd change that one. But I completely understand where she's coming from.
Weetabix, which I did think was basically war food the first time I moved to the UK. But here's the thing about Weetabix. We don't really have it in the US, and it's very versatile. So you're not entirely sure what to do with it as an American when you first encounter it. Some people actually eat it like dry with butter, which I haven't tried, but that's what I would have assumed that you were supposed to do with it. Most people add some sort of like milk to it to make it mushy and like a cereal. But it's very versatile. So you can make it very mushy like a porridge. You can make it like mushy in the middle, but not mushy on the outside, or maybe it's the opposite. You can just do lots of things with it. And I know that you can find it in other countries, but we don't have it so much in America. So that's why it made my list. I encountered it for the first time when I moved to the UK. Next on my list.
So what do y'all think about Weetabix? Like, how many of you guys got to have your Weetabix? Absolutely love it. Again, I don't know that I necessarily that we would need that over here. Like, it look, I don't know. I'd have to taste it. I have to try it, see what it's like. I have to taste it before I downplay it at all. But how many of you guys love Weetabix and think like, hey, Darian, like you really need to try it? Like, not like legit. The rest of the world does need this, and you definitely need it. What are y'all thinking?
And this is just getting more specific and more specific. Are the fact that in the UK you often buy crisps that come in individual packets within a larger packet. So let me explain. Mostly in the US, I'm not saying we can't buy the snack size versions.
Oh, okay.
You can. But a lot of our crisp bags is just one giant bag of crisps or chips, as we would call them in the US. So in order to pack these for school lunches or to not eat a million of them at one time, you would have to portion them out or put it in a Ziploc bag or something like that. Is Ziploc a brand here? I don't think it is. Is it? We'll leave this in. Comment below. Have you heard of Ziploc? Anyway, so in the UK, I often find that you buy a bag of crisps, but often it is separated into smaller snack-size bags for portion control, for packing in lunches, for things like that. And I just think that's easier. It's also better for the waistline and could explain some differences between America and Britain in other ways. And the next on my list is an amazing event.
I feel like in that one again, like she said, the US, we do have that. Like, we do have where you can buy a bag of snack-size chips. So it's like that a lot of them do come in big bags, and what you can buy like a family size bag of chips is just a big bag of chips where you're responsible for your own portion control. But then you go down a little further, you also have where you can buy a big bag full of snack size bag of chips or a box full of snack size bag. So I feel like we do have that already. So I wouldn't say that's something that we necessarily need.
And that is a duvet that clips together that has both a
really
fall and winter version and a summer version, and the ability to combine them to make it even thicker or take them apart. So in the US, we typically use what we call comforters, which often do not have a separate covering. It's more like a really thick blanket. But in the UK, duvets are the most popular, so you put a covering over the duvet. You wouldn't use the duvet on its own. However, to take it a step further, there are duvets that you can buy where, again, they have these little clips. And so the ones that I have, for instance, because you were all very fascinated by the duvet that I have, is one in which the thin version is just for the summer. Then the thicker version is for the fall and spring.
I love that.
But there's 4 clips on the 4 corners, and you can clip it all together, and that's your winter duvet. And this was all purchased as one purchase. So you can mix, you can match. If you're cold, you can add more, you can take off. It's a brilliant invention. I'm always the right temperature. Next on my list.
I feel like now we're talking. Now we're absolutely talking. That duvet, I feel like, would be extremely helpful. And that would be something that we need. Because, like you said, for us, when we get too cold, we got to go get a thicker comforter. When it gets more warm, you get a thinner comforter. I mean, obviously we have like air conditioning, so you really can't just control whatever temperatures in your house. But sometimes you get a little more cold, or sometimes you get a little more hot. And it's really cool that you have the ability to clip off a part to make it thinner, or clip on a part to make it thicker, without having to just get like a whole nother blanket. That's really cool.
Next are sturdy front doors. Britain has very sturdy front doors compared to the US, and I think this is something that they should be very proud of, and I'm very happy about as somebody who doesn't want my house broken into and wants to feel generally safe when I'm sleeping at night. In America, I feel like our doors just are flimsier. They're often made of wood. I feel like you can just break them easier. In the UK, doors are often made out of different materials, and you will see these different materials in my UK versus USA front door video if you're interested in front door fun facts. However, as a general rule, in the UK, doors tend to be very sturdy and just, made of sturdier materials, and I appreciate that. And it's better for, in the UK, keeping heat in the house, which is great for this climate, but also, again, great for my general belief that no one is going to knock my door down in the middle of the night.
There you go.
Next up,
sturdy doors, all for it. Completely agree. No arguments on this one. No disagreements. Yeah, who doesn't want a sturdier door? No. Forget my weak doors.
Are Christmas crackers. This is a pretty British thing. Americans think of crackers as this. We don't know what Christmas crackers are necessarily unless we've been exposed to British culture. Exactly. It just adds a different layer of fun.
That's really cool.
To a Christmas meal. It's something for people to talk about. What little trinket you got in your cracker. You can go around asking each other the jokes. Like, it's a solid 10 to 15 minutes of conversation at the Christmas dinner table, and nobody ever uses anything that they get in a Christmas cracker. It's usually all junk, but that's not really the point. The point is the fun of it, and they also get to explode. So I feel like Americans would love these, not sure why we don't have them, and that is something that maybe Britain could export to the US. The next thing on my list...
Christmas crackers, I'm all down for. I have seen that in other British videos, and I definitely think the U.S., like, why haven't we adopted this? This would just be something cool to have at Christmas time. Like, I'm all down for it. She's completely... So, you guys, like, do y'all get to play with, I guess, cricket? You guys agree with her about 10, 15 minutes of conversation? What's maybe some of the strangest things you received in a Christmas cracker? Some of the coolest things you received in these Christmas crackers? And are they just tradition at your household? I need answers.
Are small scooters for kids. Now, in the U.S., growing up, I did have a scooter. It was a very exciting time when I got my first scooter. However, typically, and this is solely based on my own personal experience as someone born in 1992 and lived in Florida. So it's a very specific example. Maybe other places are different. However, scooters in the US tend to be for an older demographic in terms of older kids. And teenagers. So when I got my first scooter, I was probably like 12. Here in the UK, the little kids have these little tiny adorable scooters that look like this that you basically get from the age that you can walk. And my hypothesis on this is the differences in culture and the differences in how much people walk in the UK versus in the USA. So I've noticed that families will get them for their kids here in the UK to go on walks because your small child is going to have more fun going on the scooter, is going to go faster. You can drag them along. It's just easier to take your kid on a walk with a scooter. It's fun. Yeah. In the US, we don't really go on walks for fun. That's not entirely true. Some people like hiking and stuff, but it's just not the same kind of culture. I would used to use my scooter in my neighborhood to just kind of like go to my friend's house or something like that. I didn't need a scooter as a small child at the age of 3 in the US because we weren't really, I don't know, we weren't like walking anywhere
You're just getting driven everywhere.
And finally on my list...
Yeah, I feel like I completely agree. I had scooters growing up. I'm not a big scooter fan though. Like, I'm more of a, if I'm going to get something, give me a bike. I feel like I still got to put in too much work on that scooter. That's me. I got to do too much on the scooter still. So Give me the bike. But yes, it's just a different culture. In the U.S., you really don't go on too many walks because you can't really go on too many walks unless you're going to a park. If you're going to a park, then yeah, you can walk around. And like she said, people hike and do all these things. But for kids, mostly, if you're gonna get a scooter or a bike or anything, you're just gonna ride it around your neighborhood. And nowadays, it's even getting to the point, yeah, like you can only ride it within your parents' sight.
Of British things that I love and that everybody should get to experience is bunting and decorating things with bunting. Americans, we don't know what bunting is. No. Again, something I didn't realize was a thing until I moved to the UK. Don't get me wrong, Americans love to decorate, and we have different kind of flags and different types of things that you might call bunting, but the triangular fabric or paper that looks like this seems like a very British thing. Whether it's like a jubilee, a birthday party, I feel like it's like somehow related a lot to like royal or like patriotic events, but you could use it for anything. Like a spring event might have like pastel color bunting. Brits just love bunting, and I think it's cute. I think it's a nice way to decorate. It's easy. It's also easier to fold and to store than other forms of decoration because the triangles just kind of fit together easier instead of something like a paper chain that is very difficult to store. Anyway, that brings me to the end of my list. I hope you were endlessly fascinated by this video and enjoyed some of these unique, specific things that maybe you should appreciate more in your day-to-day life in the UK. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I feel like bunting, my wife loves to decorate. I've never been a decorator, so these things that wouldn't really appeal to me at all. But my wife might absolutely love it. Like I said, she loves to decorate for every season, for everything. I am just give me 4 bare walls and I'm happy. Yeah, you see behind me, you see Barbie and these posters, and none of that's me. None of that's me. That's all my wife. That's all we have though. If you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and check out the next one. I'll see you guys next time.